Hey everybody, um, I just got some bad news via the Twitterverse, and then I went and confirmed it on the Facebook. Some of you may have remembered my friend I had on here a while ago, James Rochelle, uh, colorist at Wildstorm, colorist at CrossGen. He had some, great stories from CrossGen and Wildstorm. I'll probably go back and watch that episode. He was on once or twice. I think only once. Oddly enough, he was supposed to be on here today. I was supposed to have him on today's show, and I saw on Twitter someone had put up that he had passed away, and I is sad. And I haven't talked to his wife yet, common law wife, April. But James had this great story idea called 30 Pieces of Silver. And he'd never done the book. Something he told me about 20 years ago, 20 or more years. I've known this guy almost my entire career. He was, like I said, he was a Wildstorm colorist. And so when I went and hung out at Wildstorm, I hung out with him and Jeremy Cox probably more than just about anybody at Wildstorm. I'd go in there and just hang out in the coloring room for like ever, and we would all just sit around and just shoot the crap while they were working. And so this was one of these stories that he had told me, it was just a concept, and I thought it was just such a great concept. And the funny thing is, James was raised as a Christian, but he was an atheist, actually more of an agnostic. And I pray that he is in God's arms now. I really do. And but I want to talk to April and see if she needs help financially now that James is gone. She has a kid too. James raised the kid, and if that's the case, then I'd like to find a way to help her using his concept. His concept was great. It was called 30 Pieces of Silver, and it was going to be this anthology series of the cursed 30 pieces of silver that Judas was paid off with. And I'm like, I've always asked him about it. I'm like, when are you going to do 30 pieces? When are you going to do 30 pieces of silver? And he's like, oh, I'm thinking about something else now. I'm like, no, dude, 30 pieces of silver is so great. I mean, you got to do it. And well, he never did it. And I always thought it was just such a great idea. So if April would allow me, and April would like me to help her out, I'd like to put together some sort of a book, and then do an Indiegogo with it to help her out. I don't know what the cause is, and I know that James struggled with depression, so I'm a little worried. A little worried about that being the cause. Gosh, yeah, you guys might have seen him. He was on. I had a video. Gosh, did I delete it or did I just make it private? A new disguise. My friend James Rochelle. If you guys, any of you caught the live video feeds from San Diego, he was on one of those videos as well. David, he was a a good friend of mine. He was a really good guy. He was a colorist at Wildstorm and at CrossGen, and he had a lot of great stories about those places. And he's been working in video games for a while now. He was in town here. Dude owed me a beer. He still owed me a beer. You know what? He was one of the guys I'd bet against. James was a liberal. I wouldn't call him a leftist. He was what you might call a common sense liberal. He didn't like Trump. Politically, we were pretty much polar opposites, but we would always just sit down. You know, I'd invite him to all of my, you know, parties, birthdays, stuff like that. Going back, you know, a quarter century. Talking about him is making me sadder. but yeah, he had a lot of good stories. He was such a great guy, and I would love to do his idea, like to honor him and to take care of his wife if I can find a way to do that. Because, well, I mean, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. 30 Pieces of Silver anthology series about the cursed 30 pieces, right? So you could go throughout time. You know, you could do it through. You could do modern day stories. You could do stories from, you know, any time between Christ and today. You have a 2,000-year range of just great stories where somebody ends up with this piece of silver, one of these pieces of silver, and their life goes to crap. So yeah, I'd have to find some way to get, you know, I'd try to find all his friends. I know a lot of Wildstorm guys would probably back it. Probably help out. I know it's hard to do that much drawing for free, but maybe, you know, yeah, and maybe do it in April's name so that all the money would go directly to her, like Monkey's Paw. Yeah, something like Monkey's Paw. Yeah, I don't know if he ever wrote a script. I just remember him talking about it 20, 25 years ago, and I'm just like, man, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. I almost got him to move next to me once. I was in an apartment complex, and there was a vacant one, and he was looking at it. It would have been good. I can do a portrait like I did Edwin. Yes. I appreciate that, everybody. I appreciate that. Yeah, let me see. So let's do a little. Yeah, he did a lot of study to ArtStation. Yeah, this is ArtStation. How does he have one piece of art on ArtStation? Come on, James. Trying to find some art so you guys can see. He was a really good artist too. I might just have to go to Facebook and look through his gallery. He's still, yeah, I get he was at Sony too. So he was a former senior artist at Ultrabit, former senior artist at Sony Online Entertainment, former texture lead at Sigil Games, former digital colorist at CrossGen, former texture at Presto, former 3D artist at Angel, digital colorist at Wildstorm. So let me see if he had a. Yeah, let me share screen. Thanks, Manic Monday. It says $2 for you and RIP for your friend. God bless. So this was James. Looking sharp, James. Let me see if he had a portfolio. Instagram photos. Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah. And he was going to do a book. He was going to do a book with us. He was going to do a Comicscape book. Yep, he was a left-winger that was going to do a Comicscape project at some point. So this is a loss for Comicscape as well. If he wasn't so busy at work all the time, he would have been on streams more. Like I said, he was supposed to be on my stream today. But damn it, right? Look at that. Great stuff. Maybe I can talk to his wife, get some of this. What the heck? Oh. See what he was planning on working on. Cool stuff, right? Right? I need to see what he was doing, what he had in mind. Gosh, he'd gotten so good. Inktober. Look at that. Cool textures and stuff. Maybe she has his notes, scripts. Yeah. I'll talk to her. I'd like to see his vision accomplished. Use as much of his art as possible too. I would pay big money for that one Pink Panther drawing. Oh, he's got a DeviantArt page? Oh, let me look that up too. Yeah, this is Instagram stuff, so this is probably newer stuff. There's JJ and James and Joel Benjamin. Oh, that was this year. That's what JJ was wearing this year. Yeah, he was a talent. He was just a great guy. One of the best, man. One of the best people. Yeah, I need to talk to April. Oh, that's cool. Ghost Rider. That's what you owed me, James. That's right. He owed me a beer. I will take this one. He owed me a beer because I bet him way early, like almost right when Donald Trump announced that he was running for president. I bet James that he would win. And we bet a beer. So he owes me a beer for Donald Trump. I will take this one, brother. And there's Jeremy Cox. All right, let me look up his DeviantArt. Go as in died. Yes, James Rochelle. All right. Hard to find on DeviantArt. I'm pretty sure that's not James's stuff. Who said he was on DeviantArt, and what was his handle on DeviantArt? He was supposed to be on today to push his confiscate book. Sad we didn't get to meet such a cool person. No, he wasn't. He wasn't on here. He wasn't coming on to push his project. He was just coming on because I wanted to hang out with him. His book wasn't ready yet. Art Savant. That doesn't look like James's stuff. Let me look up James Rochelle. James. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. This is it. But this gallery? Oh man, he's got nothing. You tell me he's got a DeviantArt. He's got nothing on his DeviantArt. He's got more stuff on his Facebook or his Instagram. Oh, Instagram. What is his Instagram? I hear singing. Yeah, that was Eden singing in the background. There you are. So we saw that stuff. We saw that stuff. We saw that stuff. Grilled chicken. Yeah, he would come over for my barbecues all the time. Pimp. James, the busy guy. Thanks, Curious. I appreciate the condolences, everybody. I don't know, Victor. I don't know how it happened. I don't know what happened. I know James struggled with depression, so I'm not entirely sure. He was overweight. I mean, he wasn't huge or anything, but yeah, I have no idea. But to our community too, that he's just so busy that he could never get on streams, and like I asked him just this week, and I was like, anytime a show, and he was so. He was on before. How did I find out? I saw someone on Twitter. Like I said, he was at Wildstorm. He was at CrossGen, so we have a lot of mutual friends. I think Brett Booth retweeted it. Went to a lot of like drawing classes too. Yeah, if any of you remember the guy that was doing a 3D model on my stream, that was James. Other than Model 316, it wasn't. A lot of that art is thematically similar. Was it related to a game he was working on? No, that art was probably all for his project. He on a project that he was trying to get going at some point. Figure drawing. Oh yeah, I don't like to when things settle, and see if to take either working on but I think the 30 Pieces of Silver project, if we not just crowdfunded that, but crowd for an anthology, like people doing like kind of 10-page stories or something like that, and donating their time so that the profits can all go to April. That would be cool. Yeah, so he did a lot of digital painting too, so there's not much on here. Where's those? Oops. There's some more of his painting. Don't know what that is. What up? What's up, Josh? You remember him now, Robo? Did you see that stream? An art book from this guy. Oh yeah, we can do that. Just that'd be sushi. I hope his mom's okay. Stuff he was doing. He worked on EverQuest, I think. Unity engine. I'd even donate my time to do something for something like that. That's April. We did ask for rain. Lots of rain. All right, that's a lot of. Come on, man, we're here for art. Nope, that's the last one. Anyways, that's it. That's it. Does anyone know why Billy Tucci's campaign is on Kickstarter? Because Billy is a boomer. So yeah, I don't know if this was all from his same property, but some cool stuff. 20 years, getting used to my tablet at the same time. Actually look forward to coloring this as part of a full piece. To do a comic that featured short stories that were sometimes with a gothy Tinkerbell type narrator. It stemmed from Twisted Peter Pan story I thought of when I was young. A couple hours of boredom at work and it briefly lives again. My sketch portion as I start to be interested in working from layouts rather than freeballing with no plan. Gosh. Yeah, I wonder if he had the story written down, this other story he had. signs. Ooh, noodles. I'm sorry I'm late. What is going on? Hey, Liam. My friend James, who was at Wildstorm and at CrossGen and worked in a bunch of different video game companies, passed away. And he was supposed to be on my show today. Oddly enough. San Diego, Hugh. He lived close enough that we should have hung out more often, but that's life. You think your friends are going to be there forever, so right? Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop being all depressing. I don't know. You want me to see if Ethan wants to come in, draw his blue-haired. Yeah, my wife was suggesting that I draw one too with my feet, and I'm like, no details on. Yeah, no details. Okay, so James Rochelle, colorist on the books a bunch, and then he went over to CrossGen after Wildstorm, and I think his book was Negation. He had stories, and yeah, then he's been doing a lot of video game work, a lot of 3D work, and you saw that he was working on an idea for a project. I think he saw the hope. He saw the hope. He wanted to be part of Comicsgate. He had come on the show once, but he's just so busy at work that he never came on. He was supposed to be on today because I talked to him earlier this week, and he's like, I only have time on Sunday and Saturday, and I'm like, well, Sunday days. He's like, all right, let's do a Saturday. So he should have been on here right now, man. Should have been on here right now, talking comics, talking stories about Wildstorm. We could have told some stories about Wildstorm. Things you're not supposed to talk about. And then he could have told us some more stories about CrossGen. But yeah, I after we got off the last stream, I just saw somebody. I saw Brett Booth actually shared it. Like, yeah, so James knew a ton of guys too. In at Wildstorm, obviously, and at in the industry, and so Brett Booth shared. Then I'm like, geez. So I went to Facebook and I looked it up, and actually, his page is like, obviously nobody's posted on it, so I went to his wife's page, April, and yep. It is what it is. Negation was my favorite CrossGen book. Well, because that was all James. You still can tell us your happiest memory of him from Wildstorm. Let us all get to know what a good man he was. Give us a glimpse into the man you knew. Well, I mean, I wasn't at Wildstorm like on the regular. I came in probably once or twice a week, picking up, dropping off work, and then hanging out. And usually, I'm kind of a social butterfly, so I kind of be all over the place and hang out with JJ and hang out with with but mostly with James and Jeremy Cox, because they were in the same little coloring office, and I'd pull up an extra chair and just hang out in there with them. And yeah, that was like, 3, 4, 95, 96, 97. Why are my kids screaming in the background? Oh, 1 second. I was yelling at the TV, I think. You mean stories of Mark Waid spurging out on the cross-shot office? I've had one of those stories. I don't remember. But yeah, he would be, he'd come over for every barbecue. There's a guy that, like, you invite him over and he says he's coming over, comes over, because he doesn't, he's not one of these fair weather friends, one of these guys that just like, oh yeah, I'll be there, and then you're like sitting there waiting and nobody shows up. Like hungry taco me? What? What? I don't know what that means, Josh. I mean, my memories of James, we didn't go out and do things. It was just, he was there, and we would hang out and we would talk, and we disagreed about stuff, right? Because he was a left-wing guy, but he was just so cool about it that it was like one of those guys you would look for common ground on solutions. I'm telling you, man, if it was me and him running the country, we would find the common ground solutions on every political issue, and everything would have been right in the world. if the leaders of our country could be on complete opposite sides of politics and still reach the kind of common ground that me and James did, then this country would be a much better place. I appreciate that, Josh. I do. I don't think James would want us to be sad. He yeah, like I was saying, he wrestled with depression himself. So I don't think he would have wished that on anybody. And I hope, I don't know. I don't know what caused, what the story is behind his passing. So I can't say for sure, and I don't want to think the worst. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hey, did you guys see I put Ben Shapiro in LONESTAR? It's Ben Shapiro. Facts don't care about my drawings. Miller Skyver 2024. President Miller astride his rhino. I would never ever run for president, because the crap they would dig up on me from before I was a Christian, he's no bueno. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that. Too tall. All you can see is his head and his shoulders. Come on. So mean. Why you guys so mean to Ben? All right. 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 So, shoot, clicking on the wrong things here. So how's everyone else doing? L Ballsucker. Love to you too, man. I love all you guys. Got in on that ball and branch coin. Did you grab someone by the cat? I didn't. Let's see. I don't really want to go into the dumb things I did in my teens and early 20s.
I want to hear about it.
What's up, Nancy?
Nothing.
Were you following any of this?
I popped in for a couple minutes, and then I was gonna get on, but somebody else sent me a link, so I figured I'd stop by for a few minutes there before getting on here. So I missed a lot.
Oh. Do you remember that guy that came on that was doing the 3D modeling, not Model 316?
There's a couple guys. Is it JP4 or a different one?
James Rochelle. He was a colorist at Wildstorm and at CrossGen. He was telling stories about that.
I think I remember you mentioning him.
Yeah. Well, he was supposed to be on tonight, but instead he decided to pass away.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah. I tell you, this guy, I can usually count on him to be there when he says he's going to be somewhere, and he's supposed to be on my show tonight. And what does he do?
So what happened?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't get it. There's no details. His wife didn't mention any details on the, which leads me to think the worst. He was battling with depression, and so I hope that didn't get the best of him. But since she didn't give any indication of how he died, that's usually a pretty good sign, or a pretty bad sign, you know?
Yeah, I'll be praying for his family.
Thanks. How many people do you know who have died? You are 21 years old.
3 grandparents.
No friends?
No friend. One kid that I went to elementary school with, but I didn't know him that well. I remember he died in a car crash, probably 3 or 4 years ago. But I didn't really know him that well. So outside of that, I don't really know anyone that's dead.
Well, wait till you're my age. Actually, dude, I had a bunch of dead friends by the time I was your age. A couple motorcycles. Man, yeah, my one friend, Patrick, got his head run over. I probably shouldn't go down the memory lane of all my dead friends. Got so many dead friends. But I had this other friend. He wasn't dead, but he made me look like I didn't know any. He had I think he said he had 6 friends commit suicide, and he was in high school. So I don't know what high school he went to, but geez, that was.
Ouch, 6?
Yeah, right. So all of his art, he was an artist, so all of his art was really dark. Jeez, man. Yeah, and then by the time I was, when I was probably 22, 21, I guess I was 21, 22, my friend Suzanne, who I knew since I was in 7th grade. Oh my gosh, this girl, she was like, I don't want to say the ugly duckling. She wasn't ugly when she was in 7th grade, but she was a little overweight, but just the sweetest girl you ever met. And then in high school, she just became the most beautiful girl on earth. And then she was driving, her boyfriend was driving her out to Vegas in a Camaro or something. And he had an airbag on his side of the car. and she did not on her side, and he fell asleep driving, and so that was that for her. And then my other friend Angie, who was like one of my best friends in high school after high school. Yeah, it was the same thing. She was out in North Carolina with her boyfriend, and they were driving in the rain and making a U-turn, I guess someplace they shouldn't have been making a U-turn, and a truck hit her side of the car. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's not get into all the friends that died from drug overdoses and motorcycle accidents and whatever. I've stopped counting. I know so many people who have passed away. It's cousins that have killed themselves. My wife has 2 cousins out of 3 brothers. Out of 3 brothers, 2 of them killed themselves after their mom. This is like the most depressing stream ever.
I actually don't mind. I have a little obsession with death.
Yeah, so one of them, so their mom passed away from an aneurysm operation. And then like a year later, her youngest, who was like super attached to her, hung himself in their living room. Right. And then, years later, I think Michael's the oldest. The second oldest, who was the one that found Chris's body. And they stayed living in that house. And so like every time he walked through the living room, he saw his brother hanging there. And eventually he just ate a bullet.
Like he saw his ghost?
It's just, how like you see things like not a ghost.
Well, you said he kept seeing him, so that's kind of what it sounded like.
Well, like you close your eyes and you see things. It's sort of an impression. You see your brother hanging in the freaking living room. And then my other, you guys remember Shota?
Wait, who'd you say?
My Shota, my cousin that was staying here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
His uncle, Katsuhiro, he killed himself too, like right around the same time Matt did. And then obviously my nephew, 14 years old, passed away, got run over by a tractor.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, I'm not bringing up any of the old people who died from old natural causes. These are all young people, man. Young. So many. My friend David. All right, out of all my friends, this is the one who so he was high on coke, mushrooms, weed, and drunk. And he was driving around up in the hills on an ATC, which I wouldn't recommend, and just plowed right into a tree. So let's turn this stream around and make it an masterpiece.
I really want Ethan to read Death for $1, Chapter 1. Mike S. Miller's actually in this book. he's the main character's grandpa.
Oh, actually, Nasser. Okay, so James told me this idea. I haven't talked to his wife yet. I imagine she doesn't really want to talk to a lot of people right now. But James had this idea from like 20 years ago or something that he told me, and I never stopped thinking about it. And he didn't even tell me any of the stories. He just told me the basic concept, and I thought, do that. I'm like, do that. Oh no, B-Minute saying, good Lord, no, he doesn't want me to offer Nasser this.
This will be my
maybe they're saying no masterpiece theater. So his his story or his concept was doing an anthology called 30 Pieces of Silver. And obviously you have a time span of between Christ and today, modern times, where you can do an anthology series of the 30 pieces of silver that Judas got paid to betray Christ, right?
Uh-huh.
And those coins are cursed. So wherever they went in the world, whoever's hands they ended up in, blah, 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 that you tell the story of how the coin cursed that particular person.
I love this.
It's awesome, right? And he told me the story like 20, 25 years ago, and every time he starts talking about doing something, I'm like, when are you doing 30 pieces of silver? He's like, oh, you know, I don't know. I'm working on something
And
else.
he didn't tell you anything else?
No, he just pitched me that thing, and I'm like, dude, that is so epic. That has to be done. And so
Well, that's what me and you are doing.
well, no, so I was thinking about talking to his wife and just being like, hey, can we do something with this, to help his family out and stuff. And I mean, it's for James. I could probably get a bunch of Wildstorm guys to work on it. Maybe some of the the cross-gen guys too. And then, Comicsgate guys put it together, do a big thing to support her family, his family.
That'd be a great idea.
Don't you think? And
But we got to keep Elliot out of it.
We put his.
Well, pretty good.
You all right, Elliot?
Oh yeah. Who are we talking about?
James Rochelle.
I'm not familiar.
He was a colorist at Wildstorm for years and years, and then he went over to CrossGen, and he was the colorist on Negation there.
Yeah.
On the Negation team, and then he just worked in video games for between then and now. But he's a really good friend.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, thank you. Me too. All right, withheld rather not say. Wow, we have 217 people in here listening to me lament. Did I miss Foot Famous? That's why they're here. They're expecting Ethan to come in and draw with his foot.
Right.
All right, Ethan, do not disappoint.
Oh, God. Oh, please, no.
He said he was coming on, so we are waiting for that.
Oh, everyone in the chat likes this silver idea.
Right? It's brilliant. It is brilliant.
I really want to have a part in this, even if it's just one page.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Is like, since it's an anthology, you could literally do 1-page stories. You could do 10-page stories. Whatever you want. And then the book can just get bigger and bigger and bigger as depending on how many people are willing to pitch in on it. And it'd just be great to say, James Rochelle's 30 Pieces of Silver, and it was his concept, and it was just such a great. I'm telling you, it's a concept I've wanted to steal for 20 years, but it's like I wouldn't do that to him, and I'm not going to do it to him now. So yeah, James Rochelle, Adrian, he came up with that idea, and it's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to see him do it. So it'd be great. It'd be great to head that up. I would totally head that up.
I actually found a ton of silver coins yesterday.
Oh.
Dude, I find so many working at this bank. I found almost a whole roll of silver dimes yesterday and a 64 half dollar. It was like $4.30, I think, in silver dimes, and I got a silver half dollar too. Nothing today though.
$4.30 as in $4.30?
Yeah.
Was the value of that actually?
Like $60 or so.
Wow.
Yeah, what's it? $16 an ounce now?
Yeah.
30 pieces of silver should have 30 different stories. Well, that's the thing, is you can have as many stories, because it's not like the coins would die with each person, you know. And then the first one was a huge success, you could just do another one, you know.
Right, it could just keep going on and on.
Yeah, you have literally 2,000 years worth of stories you could do.
You could have somebody be a collector who keeps trying to buy up all the 30 pieces.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Elliot, you want to do one of the stories?
I wouldn't mind.
That'd be so
I like
sick.
that idea a lot.
I do too. So yeah, I'll talk to April about it. I'm gonna do whatever I can to help them out. It's so sudden, man. So sudden. Nasser, so jealous. Kick yourself.
Oh, gee whiz. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Jeez. Jeez. Jeez. What's the problem? Enigma Secret. What is you guys are having a conversation. Reminds me of the Pirates of the Caribbean with the whole cursed currency thing. Yeah, but dude, he came up with this story. I mean, this is a 25-year-old story. So it predates Pirates.
Boom.
Bam, right there. Would the 30 pieces get split up over time? Yeah, that's the thing, is that the pieces would have gotten split up like immediately. As soon as they went into the coffers, they got sold to the potter for the potter's field. The potter wouldn't have been like, all right, I'm going to keep these 30 pieces together. No, he would have spent them. Actually, you could start with that story.
Right, that'd be like the intro page, like the first 4 pages or something. Then it just spins out into everyone else's stories.
Yeah, the potter is the first curse.
Oh, wow, that sounds like a great horror story. It almost has a 100 bullets kind of flavor to it too, which is good.
No one is still carrying a Roman coin in their pocket. No, but people collect Roman coins, Jude.
Yeah.
And some of them are buried in the ground still. I mean, you could have all sorts of stories where it gets found or...
Yeah, you do a Jumanji on it. It's like somebody was so cursed by this coin, they figured it out, and they died, and it rolls out of their hand and falls into the sea or whatever.
Right, like it's cursed, it ruined their whole lives. They throw it away, some kid picks it up, or they die, and then like some middle-aged guy inherits his dad's collection. He's like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
Or maybe he ends up in the foundation of a building and it keeps having these tremors.
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
And finally, an earthquake happens, and it's like in a spot that never gets earthquakes, and all these people die. And then when a fireman finds in the rubble 1 silver coin, then that's bad news for the fireman.
And he sticks it in his pocket.
Yeah. Creepy.
Ooh. A Crusader knight finds one. Oh, that would be interesting to tie it into history by ending like you find people like Marie Antoinette. Like Marie Antoinette gets a hold of one of the coins, right? And then she gets beheaded, right? You could totally tie it into all this historical stuff. Ethan, how are you?
Hi, fellas.
Hey, Ethan. Ethan, I got a question for you, actually. You ever just look at Mike and get real mad about the deal with the Meg all over again?
I do. No, actually, he told me to move on from that. So I'm going to move on from that and not worry about it. I'm going to not worry about Mike and the Meg. He made his choice. I think he got through it. I think ultimately he got through it consequence-free. But it did cause him a lot of heartache. And I hope in the future he just listens to me. I have his best interest at heart. I really do. I mean well for him.
You are the wisest man in the room.
Well, no, Elliot's in here. So
I mean, you're shirt. That room you're sitting in.
Umbrella Guy's live now too. Why won't Umbrella Guy come in here and be live?
He's watching that whole Ren thing and commenting on it because he couldn't hear it the first time.
Yeah.
Somebody asks me if I drew Spectre killing the Phantom Stranger. Yes, that was me, Victor the Ripper. So do you remember James, Ethan, I think you were on the stream when my friend James, the 3D modeler, was on.
Yes.
Yeah, he passed away.
Oh no.
Yeah, I just found out about it after your show. I was on Twitter and saw it.
That's awful.
Yeah, and so we were talking about a concept he had that I have been bugging him to do for about the past 2 decades, called 30 Pieces of Silver.
And now me and Mike are doing it together. It's our collab, our child.
30 pieces of silver. What's it about?
So it's about the cursed 30 pieces of silver that Judas got paid. And so you take these cursed 30 pieces of silver and you have 2,000 years worth of stories you can do. And every time somebody gets one of these, it's an anthology series. And so every time somebody gets one of these pieces of silver, his life is cursed. And so you tell that particular person's story.
Wow.
Right?
It's just endless.
Right? And I've been telling him every time I talk to him about doing books and stuff, I'm like, when are you doing 30 pieces of silver?
Be careful when you give Nasser endless ideas. There's like 78 issue magnum opuses. Or is it opus?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So after some time passes, I'm gonna talk to his wife and see if we could do that for his family as a fundraiser.
That sounds very kind of you, Mike. I like that idea. Yeah.
He's a good guy. He was gonna do a book with us at some point.
How did he die?
She hasn't said anything about how he passed away, and I know that he always struggled with depression, so I'm kind of worried about the worst, you know.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's not how anyone should go, and you know, that is sad. It's very sad, Mike.
Yeah. So I've been depressing everyone here for about an hour.
We had a good night tonight, Mike. I mean, but you know, it is important that we pay homage to your friend.
Yeah. So I'll find out when I can. I don't want to hit her with it today, you know, the day he dies. But I do want to help her. So when the time comes, we'll do something.
Sounds good.
$5 from Zeke says EVS Entertainment Earth is selling a bouquet of Ticos for Valentine's Day. Sent you the link on Twitter. Are you serious? Oh,
yeah,
Tico.
no, a lot of people have sent me that. You can get like a dozen roses, you know, for Valentine's Day, and it's expensive. It's like $240. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Rose Ticos cost $1. I've got enough. I could make one, you know, obviously. I don't need to buy a Rose Tico bouquet. I could make that happen myself. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, you just need to reach up. Graphic Attack says, Mike, his story seems to have started seed with the comic skaters. What do you mean, Graphic? I don't know what you mean. Oh yeah. So that was one of the things when you came in. We were talking about how we could weave the stories in with actual historical people who like ended up bad. Like you could get one from Marie Antoinette, you know, before she gets beheaded, or Tupac or something, you know. Just,
Marie Antoinette and Tupac.
Yeah, all in one book.
Yeah. This is when they met that one time.
They should have met sometime in history. That would have been great. Surely Marie Antoinette would have gotten along pretty well with Tupac Shakur.
Ethan.
What?
JFK.
JFK is another one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Would you go back in time and rescue JFK?
Yes.
Why?
Because then you'd be a hero, Mike.
How would? What, I have to take the bullet?
No. Why? What are you talking about taking the bullet? It's saving him. You tackle the shooter or something like that. Or you
can't just tackle one shooter. There were a bunch of shooters. There's that umbrella guy.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
If you could save Martin Luther King Jr., John Lennon,
hands
or
down.
JFK.
John Lennon.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King being a martyr was more powerful.
I disagree, and I would say Martin Luther King Jr. racists. Because I don't think that his martyrdom was a good thing. I think that he would have continued on and promoted peace, civil rights movement.
Think about it. How would it have changed if instead Malcolm X was martyred?
He was.
I know. That's a joke.
So I would save all of them. I'd also save. I would save everyone. I would save John Lennon.
Malcolm X.
Yeah. I'd save Medgar Evers. I'd go back in time and I'd save all the civil rights activists. I'd save Emmett Till. I'd even save Emmett Till. I'd go find those two big white bruisers. You don't know who Emmett Till is, Mike? You bigot. Mike.
What's an Emmett Till?
Emmett Till was a 10-year-old boy, okay, from Chicago, who traveled to be with his cousins down in Mississippi. Okay, went to Mississippi, and he didn't know any better. He didn't know about Jim Crow. He didn't know about the laws. He didn't know about the customs of the South.
Who's Jim Crow?
And his friends took him to the market to buy some candy. His cousins. And when he was in there, he said to a white lady who worked behind the counter, he said, "Don't be afraid of me, baby. I've been with white women before." And so he left, and that woman said, "Who the hell was that?" Someone saying he's 14 years. He might have been 14. And she got her.
A 10-year-old saying that to a woman.
Yeah, when I said it, I was like, that doesn't sound right. Okay, so she told her husband, and then he told his brother, and the two of them went to that boy's uncle's house, dragged him out of bed in the middle of the night, took him out to the woods and tried to get him to apologize, but he wouldn't apologize. So they beat him with chains, and they, poked his eyeballs out, and they shot him in the head, and they wrapped him up with a metal fan, and they threw him in the river.
A metal fan?
Yeah, like a big, huge turbine, and they threw him in the river, and he floated around for a little while. They found his body eventually. And they arrested the two guys who did it and put them on trial. They had the kid's mom come down from Chicago to identify the body, which was, it had been in the water. You can see pictures of the body. Go look up Emmett Till. She let the pictures of his little bloated dead body go public and go national so that people could see the real problems at the heart of racism and Jim Crow within the South. She wanted the world to see what it actually meant in real terms. And these two guys went on trial, bunch of crackers in Mississippi, and they were acquitted. There was enough evidence that they did this. Whitey acquitted them, and they went free. And because they went free, and they didn't have to, you couldn't be, there's double jeopardy. You can't be convicted of the same crime twice. Life magazine said, "What did you do? You want to tell the truth? We'll give you $3,000. They said they sat down and told the whole story of exactly what they did. And by the way, the woman just died. The woman who got whistled at like 2 years ago. But that's the story of Emmett Till. So I would go back in time and I would save that little boy. That's what I would do, Mike. Fuck the Beatles, Mike. Excuse my language.
Wow.
No, I get passionate about this. You want to save the Beatles while letting children die, Mike.
No, I would save the Beatles too.
I would too. I like the Beatles. But not at the expense of children. And that's
would you save John Lennon at the expense of Yoko Ono?
Yes. I would.
You guys ever see that? You guys ever see that Family Guy clip where Stewie he says something like, "Shut up or I'll do to you what I did to John Lennon"? Then it shows him introducing him to Yoko.
No.
Now I just try to teach you guys something. I want you to understand. I try to teach you guys something about history. You don't listen.
I listened. I already knew it.
I heard you. I listened to at least half of what you said. Jude Van Alien says EVS needs to get off his soapbox. He's not sitting on a soapbox.
Yes, I am, Mike. Yes, I am.
That's why he
Turns out.
needs the
That
elbow.
doesn't mean racism is good, Mike.
What?
That doesn't mean racism is good. Racism is bad. And racism in the 1950s was the worst. If you were black in the South in the 1950s and early 60s, forget about it. Your life wasn't worth anything.
I actually have a story that sounds kind of like that one I wrote called "The Long Road Home." I think I've told you about it before, right? The one about the black kid, or the girl gets the white girl marries this black boy like in secret, and then her father and uncles find out and lynch him, and then she ends up having the baby anyways, and the baby gets sent off to a woman's or a orphanage and ends up growing up in the orphanage, and then he's like, living that horrible life, and he gets all bitter at his mom, and then he breaks into the office and finds out who his mom is, and then he and his friend go travel, several states by foot to find his mother, and then his friend dies along the way, and then he finally gets to his mother's place, and like tears up the house, right? Because he's like so mad, but then she finally convinces him that she wanted him all the time and she loved his dad and all that stuff, and so they're like finally hugging, and finally this heartwarming moment where she is finally reunited with her son, and then her husband comes home and sees this black boy.
I gotta read a couple of these in the chat.
Mike done talking? Is Mike done boring the piss out of everyone?
Great White Dope says this is Nasser level storytelling, and then Llama Gigante says Mike derails conversation.
Mike, why can't you tell a story? Why are you incapable? You're on this is radio, Mike, and you don't know how to tell a story. You don't know how to tell a story and make it interesting to the audience, and the audience wants to hear an interesting story out of you.
All right,
and you're like story. This is you. You're
in
like,
an interesting way.
Well, and then this. Is
it time for Nasser Peace Theater? I got something for you.
Yeah, that's how to tell a story, Mike.
And then Thursday,
I do this every single week. We do Nasser Peace Theater, and I tell stories, and people like it.
I will send you something.
Even though it's a bad story, Mike, I still know how to tell it.
I'm gonna send you a good one right now.
And Mike, you don't listen to me.
After you're gonna send a good story.
Yes, it's a good one.
Who wrote it?
I wrote this. I started writing this like I don't know, a week and a half ago or something.
Artemis Arrow wanted to hear the end of my story.
Now I told a good story about Emmett Till.
I'm not in the mood anymore. They have ruined my story.
Good. You ruined your story when you tried to tell it in monotone. You ruined it. Mike, would you draw pictures in monotone? Oh, you would. Yeah, I forgot you do draw monotone.
I am emotionally drained right now. I cannot do the highs and lows. Okay?
Mike, when you are emotionally drained, that is the time to be the most emotional. That is the time to let people see who you are.
Did you see I put Ben Shapiro in Lone Star?
No.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't see that.
That's Ben Shapiro?
Yeah.
Oh. Kind of looks like you.
With
a short haircut.
Let me see. I didn't see it.
Mike said, shut up.
Shut up. You noise you.
I guess it's Ben Shapiro. Just looking at people. Some people are accusing you of having a man crush on Ben Shapiro.
No, I just asked him if he wanted me to put him in the book, and he said that'd be cool. So
they want you to, they're imagining.
Mike just
write your name in cursive, Mike Shapiro.
Mike S. Miller.
Mike S. Shapiro in cursive with hearts.
Is it Mike Shapiro?
Michael S. Shapiro. No, let me try it this way. Ben Miller. What looks better?
What is wrong with you people?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm having a great time.
Mike,
Boy,
Mike
there's
is in
a
mourning,
whole
but
bunch of Renfamous memes on Twitter right now. I don't know what happened. Did something happen?
what happened to Renfamous?
I don't know.
Well, she's very upset right now. Renfamous is tweeting a lot of weird stuff, and people are sending it to me because she's blocked. So people are sending me pictures of her tweets. Her fans are defending her performance and saying that she calmly and rationally discussed Comicsgate, and yet I didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate it.
No?
I don't know why. Somebody's criticizing my Yeti. What are you talking about? My Yeti's perfectly set up. Oh, they want me to put a little thing in front of it. I don't have that thing. The thing that you
Nobody needs the thing.
The pop filter.
My Yeti is perfect right now. The pop filter, yeah, man, a pop filter. Thank you, the laughing man. I appreciate it. Appreciate your criticism. It's just what I need right now. Our nerves are all on edge right now. Mike's nerves are on edge. Nasser's nerves are on edge, and mine are too. And what I really was looking for was criticism about my microphone. Thank you. Especially when I initially bragged about it and said, look how great my new microphone is. Thank you for putting that rake in my path to step on. Appreciate
I think it
you.
looks fantastic.
It's okay, fantastic. Ethan. You're about to dunk on me anyways when you read your email.
Oh, really?
Although this, I don't think this one's really that roastable. If you find a way to roast this one, I give up.
Well, we'll see. Hold on, I'm trying to find Renfamous's. Wow, I got a bunch of new Twitter followers out of this.
Send them my way.
Renfamous is making fun of Mike.
What?
She says, having a normal one over there, Abacus Mike. Nice fan base you've got, too. I'll bet GRRM speaking and Dynamite Comics agree. What is she talking about? Who's GRRM speaking?
George R.R. Martin.
Oh. So she's trying to she's trying to get you fired, Mike.
Yeah, she's trying to get me fired.
Ethan ignored her. Now she's coming back for Mike.
Yeah, Mike's probably a better target. When I said leave me alone, I meant me. Go ahead and attack Mike. Look at the floor back there. Look what Ava did. Yeah, Ava. She wanted a Lego set. You know, I had a kind of a Todd McFarlane brand Lego of the Walking Dead RB. Ava said, "Open, please," and I opened it, dumped it all over the floor, and she just danced in it like she didn't build it. Nice. I thought she'd build me the RV. She didn't. Renfamous says, I'm yet to see a single one of them refute anything I said. It's all making fun of my appearance or my shitty blue wig. Even Ethan can't. Why did she say even Ethan? Like I'm better than you guys.
She's still focused on me.
She said, even Ethan can't manage anything but retweets of other people calling me ugly. It's a shame. I thought I'd at least get one genuine response. Lauren, you dummy. We just spent... We did a big, gigantic live stream making fun of you. We refuted everything that we heard you say when we weren't laughing. You know, it's like we spent a lot of time laughing at you on the live stream, but when we heard you say something, we refuted it because it was bullshit every single time. Mike, I'm sorry for my language.
I'm sorry for your language, too. I'm having my son log into his Twitter account so I can go see what she's saying. You don't remember your password? That's great.
When
was the last time you logged into your Twitter account?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, and you can't remember your password. This is my smartest kid, too.
Apples don't fall too far.
Don't tell my daughter I said that.
Would that be mean?
What the heck?
Mike, you really know how to carry on a live stream. I mean, you know.
Thank you, Ethan. Thank you. Do you need
this is my easiest password, and I didn't try it first.
All right.
I don't get why Mike thinks he has to sign into another account. He could just sign out, type in her username, and look at her profile and see the tweets.
What Mike does is when he's doing a live stream and he has a technical difficulty that he needs his son to fix, he draws all the attention to the technical difficulty and his son fixing it.
People love it.
Everybody's quiet while, you know, And everybody goes, when is this going to be?
Hey,
Mike,
this is real life now. This is real
every
life.
single day I try to help you. All right, hold on. Let me read. Let me see what Nasser's doing. I'm sorry.
This is just fantasy.
Every day it happens. I don't know what happens. It happens every day.
Every day.
It's okay.
Caught in a landslide.
Okay, I got a nice email, and it's not from Nasser.
Okay.
No, I didn't read yours. I'm not saying yours isn't nice. I'm just saying I got an email, and it isn't from well, I got a couple of them. All right. I need help, please.
What is the Nigerian prince?
Is that the name of the story?
That's the name of the email that got sent my way.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good.
My name is if it is a guy. I'm not. I don't want to gender specify, but it.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah, I want to leave it as because I don't want to dox this dude. You know.
Right. No.
And I watch you a lot on YouTube. I'm trying to become a writer. I'm writing a novel right now, but it's my first story. Throughout my teenage years, I thought up to 15 stories just for fun. I never thought of doing anything with them since I lacked the confidence. Seeing the way America's culture is rotting, I truly believe people need more original stories that aren't terrible. I know they can make positive changes in people's lives. While I write my novel, I also want to get my 6-story idea started. I've already the beginning and ending planned out, and the middle can basically write itself. In 2015, I had a friend help me make 2 songs. I wrote the lyrics, and he did everything else. I have been busy looking for an illustrator to draw some of the images for my 6th story, which will be displayed as a video along with music. I wanted to use this video to advertise my story and to help crowdfund it. Unfortunately, I've had nothing but trouble when it comes to an illustrator. I've had people quit suddenly for no reason before doing anything. I've been lied to. I've even had my money stolen. Like you, I'm absolutely sick of seeing what companies like Disney are putting out. I have many original stories that don't have any politics and don't preach or condescend to the audience. I'm not asking you to illustrate for me. I know you're far too busy. Could you ask Mike S. Miller?
Wow. That was amazing.
So
Not where I
Mike,
expected it to
Wait,
go.
what was that?
that was a letter that somebody sent me. So Mike,
I was gonna say, and Nasser didn't write that, did he?
no.
No, because it was way better written than Nasser could write.
Yeah. But it had Nasser's heart.
That's too.
I was hoping Mike would be competent at drawing people, creatures, city settings, wilderness settings, buildings, castles, and action scenes. I need Mike. I can truly trust him. I know he won't let me down, and he can draw at least 10 pictures for $500.
At least. At least.
Does he mean like 10 thumbnails?
Could you kindly let that person down gently?
I'm sending him your email and your
And his home phone.
Mike, I respect the people who respect you.
That's the only way to be.
Mhm.
Doom
Yeah.
CMY case is that I'm getting outdone.
I'm sure that if people like me and Mike get our work out to the masses, it would begin to change our country's culture, and hopefully people will stop acting like SJWs and NPCs. I've asked people on freelance sites for help, and I get no response at all. I don't know what to do. I've tried drawing myself, but I've never been able to get good at it. I just get the same stuffy feeling in my brain that I get when I try to do math. If you could please get Mike S. Miller to help me, I'd truly be grateful. Thank you. Can do. Can do.
Ethan Van Skyver, the Magic Man.
This has to be a troll.
No, it's real.
Show us. I don't believe you.
How could I just make that up? That was real.
Hey, if Jordan Peterson sent that to you, go ahead and give him my email.
Well,
Wait, you'd work for him for $500?
he wants 10 drawings. Mike, just do it.
You owe it to your fans.
Do I? All right.
I got another email.
That's good times.
This has got to be a troll. This has got to be a troll. Yeah. Please confirm your email address. Welcome to Anastasia family. Anastasia date, Asian date, Amo Latina, Africa beauties, and Arabian date.
Hey now.
Dear nipple clamp, please. Please take a second to confirm your account to get full access to Anastasia family of sites and receive email notifications. Find love, romance, companionship with Anastasia family. The world's most beautiful women are waiting to hear from you. Have a great time using our services. Nipple clamp.
So
Love.
you already created a profile name?
I don't know. That's what I'm not kidding when I say that. It says to nipple clamp. My name is not nipple clamp. Like,
What is your name on that service?
it's not nipple clamp. Something got wrong. Something got confused along the way. I'll delete that. That's not good.
Oh.
I don't know why this happens to me, Mike, and it doesn't happen to you. Not nearly enough.
As it ought to.
Akuma in the chat says Elliot's laugh cracks me up. Hail jerkmonger. I second them on this. This is the worst part of whenever I've heard a rerun of Masterpiece Theater. Elliot's laugh is the part that gets me the most. I just feel embarrassed when I hear his laugh because it's like it's real obnoxious.
Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Oh, you know what's funny, Ethan? That one you were commenting on that Ren posted having a normal one over there because Mike, nice fan base you have too.
Yeah.
It's not even. She posted stuff other people were saying. I guess that's the nice fan base part.
They're your fans, Mike.
Apparently they're my fans, so I am responsible because, like you, I control my fans.
Right.
Yeah, no, unlike me, you do control your fans, Mike. I've seen it. You do control them.
It's
I
funny.
never understood that. The whole like you got to speak for your fans if they do something wrong.
Death for $1, Chapter 1 by Nasser Rabadi.
Dun, dun, dun.
Nasser, why do you want me to read this?
It's good, trust me. Just go with it. Just go with it.
Nasser, when did you write this, first of all?
A week and a half ago.
So this is kind of new.
This is magnum opus.
No.
Yeah. No.
This is the toughest one to write so far.
Oh.
A lot of people are leaving the chat as I begin to read Nasser's story.
If you want Masterpiece Theater in the chat, press 1. I went over 113,000 today, and my books still aren't freaking here.
What do you mean you went over 113,000?
Oh,
That's how much money you made.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
All right,
good,
everybody, share out the link for this stream.
I better get a drink. Hold on.
All right. He's going to need a drink for this.
All right, everyone listening, tweet out the link, share it on Facebook. Let's get people in here.
I actually have to do the drink also. I'll be right back.
And then go harass Elliot.
Huerta, you need a drink too?
Nah, I got to draw.
Oh, for God's sake. I'm sick. I
Yeah,
feel
you need,
well.
Oh, wait, people are saying we need Brian Shearer in here.
you need a big glass of orange juice, man.
Yeah.
Brian Shearer.
And we need Malin in here, too.
Oh, yeah. Mail-in.
Well, Malin's got the link. I think Brian does not. Sorry, Brian. Brian gets all persnickety when he doesn't get the links.
Yeah. Well, people are theorizing that Lone Star is sitting in a wet USO parking lot.
Oh, geez.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, no. I mean, I could, but here, I actually got somebody sent me a video of Renfamous if you want to see it.
Okay.
No thanks.
Oh my God. What? Oh.
This is apparently she was very excited about the video and she thought she won the debate with herself.
She didn't win.
Nah.
So I don't know why
Party
she's doing
time.
that.
Party time now. All right, you go, Ran. You go. You go, girl.
Are you talking about Al Jarreau?
All right. That's enough.
All right.
Wait, did anybody type 1 for Masterpiece Theater?
Yeah,
yeah.
like everybody did.
Nice fans you have, Mike. Love Renfamous.
See, all of Mike's fans want to hear my stories. They're bigger fans of my storytelling than Mike's.
Well, I don't know about that, Nasser.
Yeah, that's kind of.
He meant then Mike is.
You're pushing it a little bit, man.
That's possible.
Death. Death for $1. No, Death for $1, Chapter 1 by Nasser Rabadi. Chapter 1. It was the essence of evil. It was an old, dusty treasure hidden away in a chest which was hidden in such dreadful darkness that concealed mountains of spiders. Sounds like Renfamous's bra. Guys, please.
Focus.
Even the greatest explorers and treasure hunters could not find the object hiding in Penny Creek. The divine object rested on the floor of its hiding spot, buried below piles of other treasure. None of the gems on top of it came close to its rarity or power. Many people fought over it. Many people sought it. Many people dreamed of it. Dreamt of it. Starlight ran in dull semicircles from the darkling sky atop the treasure's location, and soon, in this very spot, screams would rise up from hell and fill the night, and nobody would be there to hear. Shadow, almost thick enough to have texture as heavy as wool, ran across the hidden spot. Enchanted remnants of moonlight that flowed water-like spread across Penny Creek. The witching hour was nearly upon them. Children shut their eyes and dreamt of monsters as the grimly winds screamed over the rooftops, and the freezing air that drifted through the small cracks in the walls felt like the fingers of ghosts tracing their arms. The night was chilly and filled with bad dreams, but the next morning would be a July scorcher. This is why I can't stand Nasser's writing. Can I just tell you?
Huh. What?
Nasser, Nasser contradicts himself in a sentence. Nasser
I'm talking about nighttime.
Nasser gives you whiplash. Like you go like the Nasser.
Yeah.
It's like this. The night was chilly and filled with bad dreams, but the next morning would be a July scorcher.
Yeah, because it's like that's a point of the book. Is it's like almost two different places when it's nighttime versus.
I'm trying to. I want to work on the idea of the chilly night with bad dreams.
Okay.
The next morning's irrelevant, dude. We might not even survive the chilly night. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're letting us know that we're going to survive, and it's going to be a July scorcher. And all right, I'll try this again, Nasser. But the night was chilly.
Matt Becker in the chat does have a comment. He says, "Yeah, and he gay."
And he gay. Okay. The night was chilly and filled with bad dreams, but the next morning would be a July scorcher, as if the gates to hell were open 1/10 of an inch, and its flames drifted up to the town. Mockingbirds chirped in the night and disturbed the beautiful silence. There was not a single person or car out tonight in the small town. Water moved steadily under the bridge in the creek from which Penny Creek was named. The darkness that clung to the edges of the stone bridge looked like a tomb into unreality, a crypt of gloom from which there was no escape. Everything about it in the night was wicked, from the coppery smell to the way the sound of the water hitting the stones and rocks sounded like an invitation into the maddening shallow waves inside the void. That was like from Ed Wood's Plan 9 from Outer Space. That's what I was doing there.
Are you sure it was hitting the stones and the rocks? Was it also hitting the boulders?
Hitting the stones and rocks, not boulders.
No boulders, just stones and rocks.
Yes.
All right. Just want to make sure that's clear.
By morning, I'm trying to read this. Please have respect for our author. By morning, Penny Creek would be welcoming. It was as if the town suddenly turned into a new place once the sunlight began to slip away. In the daytime, it was nice and homely. Nasser.
Homie.
I meant homie. It might have been a typo.
Homely.
Was it really say homely?
It says homely. I swear to God, Nasser.
I'm fixing that right now. It's a typo.
The house wore its hair in a bun and plaid skirt.
I'm pretty sure he was thinking about Ren.
It was nice and homey. What up, homie? At night, it was a strange landscape.
Hey, guys.
It's not funny, guys. Not funny. It's scary.
No children are laughing.
In the daytime, it was nice and what up, homie? At night, it was strange. It was a strange landscape full of terror.
Terror.
You really bring home the terror, Nasser. I'm really scared. I don't know why, but picturing this landscape that's filled with terror. Grassy hills line the edge of town. Dirt roads brought you into the town and lead to old houses with yellowing grass and shrubs surrounding them. None of the homes were close together. The yards were spacious. There were almost no trees in Penny Creek outside of the Mike Miller household. The Miller household was a big white farmhouse just off the entrance to Penny Creek and was the farthest from all the other homes. Their yard was the biggest, and it was filled with crops. They had trees lining the big wide path that led from the road up to their home. Chapter 2.
Oh, it's still chapter 1.
Oh, they're 3 asterisks. Okay.
Yeah, that just cuts to a new scene.
Sub-chapter 2.
Master, you did really well at establishing a scene upon which nothing happened. Do you understand? Like
Yeah,
you,
it's
you
all set
spent
up for now.
Well, that's all that matters is now. I mean, you spent all of this time establishing a scene, and then you cut away from it, right?
No, just wait for it. We're gonna get right back to it.
Chapter 1.
Dom Casey in the chat quite rightly asked, Jesus, is it all description? Yes, Dom. Yes.
Just wait for it.
Just think Tolkien.
Now
Except
I'm really depressed.
Nasser.
All right, here we go. In the morning, everything was in place. Soft sunlight filled the enchanted chamber, carrying the forgotten treasure. It knew its evil would reign true once again. It hadn't in decades. It was the last of its kind, and the others either withered away to time or were destroyed in numerous fires. It was a terrible thing that this treasure still remained, for if it had been destroyed as its counterparts were, all of the trouble that ensued could have been avoided, but there would have been no misery to the poor boy or the people surrounding him. Life would have gone on as normal, but perhaps he would have been lucky for finding it and all of its glory. In some twisted way, it could be seen as lucky. The minutes were ticking away.
You sucking on your teeth?
If Malin were here, he'd say, "Stop snapping.
Stop sucking on your teeth.
Stop ticking." He complains.
I'm making a guys.
No, you're doing
No, that
great.
would be-
You're doing great. No,
Thanks.
keep going.
The hidden room was getting. I wanted to do an entire minute.
You could have just done.
Is that a minute? That's a minute long. A minute.
That's 30 seconds, but you could have done it twice.
All right. The hidden room was getting warmer with the July sun. The people of Penny Creek were going about their day as the last shadow in the room, which covered the treasure chest, began to shrink. The shining gold latch was but a livid blur. Livid? It's angry? It's pissed off?
Yes.
So it is. That's
So-
the word that you meant to use.
And that's why it's blurry.
It's a livid blur. It's like, fuck, I'm a blur.
I'm so angry, I'm blurry.
Blur.
You can't
Blurry.
see. I'm so mad.
I hate my glasses.
I could kill shadows that have a more defined edge.
I need a new prescription.
It's like I'm drawing with a Sharpie. Sucks.
In the dwindling darkness.
I feel like someone bought Nasser a thesaurus, but he doesn't understand how to use it.
No, I mean, now I'm confused. The dwindling darkness, that means it's getting light. It's
Yes,
not.
that's what I had already said.
The people have been going about their day as the last shadow in the room began to shrink. You're right. My bad. I'm just expecting things to get scary, and you're taking the scary away. You know. But I mean, I don't know. I guess you're making.
No, just wait. Now, just keep going.
All right.
After the scare was gone.
Quiet, Elliot.
Welcome, Antonio.
Antonio's not here. I'm invisible.
Hi, Antonio.
All POC are invisible. We are not seen.
Smile, I can't see you.
Mike, I disavow Mike. I disavow Mike and his 1920s racism.
Liam Gray for $2 says, I hate my glasses.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Even the faded brown finish on the treasure chest began to shine mystically. It was ready. I knew its most precious treasure was soon to be discovered. It had driven good men mad. It had ruined entire families, entire cities. At one point, it could have ruined the whole damn world itself. Nobody knew how it slipped past. Nobody knew why it was still there. To the outside world, it didn't exist. It was merely a thing of legend. The thing that gets passed down in fairy tales and bedtime stories and makes one's imagination tumble wildly.
Is this about banging a chick?
And Antonio, I'm not sure what it's about. I don't think anything has actually happened yet.
Oh, okay. I was just kind of walked in. I was like, oh, okay.
We were promised. We were promised this is all set up.
We got
He's reading a chapter from something I'm working on.
We got
This
a lot
is,
of descriptions of things.
Yeah,
But
this is
Just
evocative.
chill. It all makes sense soon.
It makes me think that like I have a head injury. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I feel when I'm reading this. I'm like, do I not understand what's going on because I hit my head?
No,
And
no,
then I
you
go,
don't
no.
understand what's going on because
It's a big mystery right now. It's a big mystery right now. That's the point of this chapter.
nothing has happened.
Yes, but the whole point of this chapter is there's a mysterious object and you're trying to figure out what it is, and you're going to find out in the last sentence. But don't spoil it yet, Ethan. You're pretty much already done.
I'm
Okay,
fixated on the shadows.
No, there's a punchline at the end. It's Twilight
Oh.
Zone-esque. Okay, all right. Here we go. Nasser, I
Hold up.
skipped ahead.
Hold up.
Elric-
Don't spoil it for anyone yet. Just keep going.
Elric
Nasser, this is so
says
stupid.
Tolkien
No,
would
I'll explain after you read it, Ethan. I'll explain after you read it.
It shouldn't
Why
have to be explained after you're done reading it.
What? No, he's talking about the thing that I say what it is in the last sentence.
Okay.
The spiders that filled the corner of the room began to retreat into the walls and into any shade they could find. They hid behind the filth that flooded the room. It seems that was all that surrounded the treasure. Filth. Just filth. As if the filth would keep it hidden forever. But no filth or barrier or barricade could keep this magical gem guarded forever. It was much too strong for that. It was almost as if it willed itself to be found. Could it do that? Perhaps it could. There were many things it had the power to do. And it could have been yours too if you found it. The treasure was priceless. The treasure was forceful. The treasure was deceitful. The treasure was ungodly.
Was it filthy?
It was the ad in the back of a comic book. The end.
That's just the first chapter.
There's more of that?
Obviously, Elliot, if I say it's the first chapter, use your brain for once.
Obviously, I'm trying to say don't write any more of that.
It's good as is. It's good as is. Let's just write a line under that and just,
Okay, that will
It's
not
good.
be 30 pieces of silver. Thank you.
What do you mean, Nasser? What do you mean it was the ad in the back of a comic book? What's the gag here? How come I don't get this?
Well, basically what happens is a boy finds a comic book, and in the back is an ad for a monster ghost toy, and it says it obeys your every command. And so he sends in $1 for it, and then it comes back, and then strange stuff starts to happen.
Spoiler.
You know what it is? I have a book that actually tells you what you get when you mail away for those things in the back of a comic book. It actually shows you this. One guy actually did mail away for everything. And it shows you what you would receive. You know what it is? It's a balloon with a paper ghost thing over the balloon.
Does it have a white dunce hat too?
No. Or if you got a Frankenstein, it would be that's what it's just a balloon. That's what it was. They say you can control it because there's a string attached to it. So,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Nasser, when does the story take place?
Well, what'd you say?
When does this story take place?
I didn't really put a year to it.
It's timeless.
It's timeless.
I feel bad about myself now.
Well, it's more modern times, but I didn't put an exact year on it.
Well, like modern times, like in the last,
like now, and the book is probably from the 40s or something.
I was feeling pretty good tonight. I was pretty up about stuff. The Renfamous humiliation. I was feeling great about that. I was like, yeah, everything's great. I don't feel so good anymore. In fact,
one of my really good friends passed away today, and now I just feel worse, Nasser.
This is pretty bad. Yeah. It wasn't the thing. It wasn't the thing to read right now.
No. That I think the idea was interesting. No,
No.
I like what you're trying to do. I don't think that. I don't know. I was hoping for something meatier. I was hoping for something like if I'm going to get a Twilight Zone twist, I want to be like, oh,
yeah, so like more like twist. Like you saw it coming that it would be an ad.
No, it wasn't. The whole thing was, Nasser, it wasn't an ad in the comic book. What you're describing is what came in the mail as a result of seeing an ad in a comic book and sending $1.98 into some scam company. It wasn't everything that you described was not the ad in the comic book, because otherwise you would have described inky black smelling paper, blah blah blah. But you didn't describe that. You described what actually came in the mail, the object. You You see what I mean? Do you see how it all falls down?
Hey, Ethan, did you just say something about inky blacks? What is this, man? I'm like, dude, we've got to move Comicsgate in another direction, man. This is not going to work.
Antonio, you missed me already announcing that I was a civil rights advocate. Let me explain something.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Everyone here got a choice. They said,
hold on. Antonio, let Ethan white-splain this to you.
I will. I already said to these guys, Antonio, check these bigots out, right? So I said to them, I was like, if you guys could save one person, like JFK, John Lennon, or Martin Luther King, who would you save? These guys all said John Lennon. You know who I said? I said Martin Luther King. And then you know what I said? I said Medgar Evers. And then you know what I said? Malcolm X. And then I blew him away. I said, and I'd go save Emmett Till. They didn't even know who Emmett Till was, Antonio.
I know who Emmett Till is. I definitely know who Emmett Till is.
Hell yeah. So I actually told these guys.
Because you guys all know each other.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Michael. Oh, Michael.
I'm trying to give Renfrew some ammo here.
Yeah, they're clipping all this. By the way, I know this is, I probably shouldn't say this, but Renfrew really did it for me.
Really? You like her?
I can't help it. She looks like the chicks that I've dated. It's like I know everybody was trying to rag on her, but I was like, she just seemed like one of those down to earth chicks but her Twitter personality is like so vile. So I was like, there's like two. I was like, oh, I'm in love, and then I see her tweets and
squishy little face.
Wait, so you're down with her Al Jarreau overbite? What's going on with that?
I'm just, man, I date a lot of fives, man. I don't know what it is. That's what it is, man. It's like life at the buffet, man. That's what it is. For the guys in the chat are saying I'm a perv, I'm like, hey, I've never lied about who I am. I host a show called Sexy Party. Yeah, that's what I do.
Antonio, how much time did you spend in prison? Be honest.
And did you drop the soap on?
Now, wait a minute. Let's unpack that. I got into a bunch of trouble when I was a juvenile.
So,
when I turned 18, I've never even gotten a traffic ticket.
Why are you assuming that Antonio has gone to prison, Ethan?
Because
I have gotten in trouble
and finds her attractive, and I have to assume that would be, that's the kind of thing a guy who spent a few years, in the pokey, as they say, as cracker asses like me say, in the pokey. You're in the hokey with the pokey.
No, I remember one time. I think I told Elliot this a couple months ago. I had gotten locked up, and they were taking me to downtown Nashville, 2nd Avenue, where they had the juvenile facility. We didn't have one here in Murfreesboro, and this was 30 years ago. They didn't have one here, but now they do. But the cop thought I was gonna like break out of my handcuffs. They had me handcuffed in the back of the police car, and he had the cuffs on too tight. My hands were like the circulation was all jacked up, and my hands were sweating and they were like swelling up. And he kept looking. He was like, I think this black guy is about to break out of his handcuffs and choke me out or something. And he kept looking, and I was like, he was really starting to freak out. And I was like, and he was like, something going on with your hands? And I was like, yeah, you got the handcuffs. And so he unloosened the cuffs a little bit. I was like, I thought he was going to shoot me or something. I was like, Jesus, dude.
They slapped those things on tight, man.
Yeah, ankle cuffs. They had all this shit on me, man.
I've been there too, bro. Hey, Liam for $5 says a guy is dead. We had to sit through that. Time to draw with your feet, boys.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Oh, and then Lamunk for Hong Kong $10 says, "Get help, Tony. You need it." I believe that's Antonio.
Yeah, I think it's me too.
There's another one.
You can call him Antoine. He doesn't mind.
Yeah. Okay. Just randomly naming Negroes. I'm like, okay.
You had another super chat between those two.
I did.
Yeah, from Spider-Man, not Bug Boy.
Nasser, have you thought about trade school?
You guys aren't going to be laughing when these book ideas make millions. When they make millions or even billions, you guys aren't going to be laughing like this.
I'm
Dude,
not
you
sure
will
billions.
never come up with a story like Tank Heist.
Like what?
Tank Heist.
What's
Mike,
that?
we can't even come up with a story like Tank Heist.
Dude, Elliot, you and I have to break away from John's little coven and write that story because it can be great.
Wait,
Can be.
what's Tank Heist?
No, you don't need to know now.
Yeah, you don't have to know about that.
What is it?
Oh, don't you want to know?
Tank heist sounds cool. I like it. I like the word, the phrase tank heist. Well, I found a website that I'm reading right now. You know, how to pray about mental illness when you can't find the words. Mike, I'm going to read this to you. Okay. Last year, I suggested that one way the church can stop hiding mental illness is by recognizing that the Bible includes stories of people with mental illness, like King Saul, King Nebuchadnezzar, the man living among the tombs. What was that about?
There was a man in the New Testament living among the tombs, and he was possessed of many devils. He was possessed of the Legion.
Legion, yeah.
Legion, yeah.
All right,
the maniac of Gathering.
Here's the prayer that I would like to offer tonight. O Lord, hear me as I pray. Pay attention to my groaning. Listen to my cry for help, my King and my God. For I pray to no one but you. Listen to my voice in the morning, Lord. Each morning I bring my requests to you and wait expectantly. My God, why have you abandoned me? Why are you so far away when I groan for help? Every day I call to you, my God, but you do not answer. Every night I lift my voice, but I find no relief. O Lord, do not stay far away. You are my strength. Come quickly to my aid. Nasser has sent me another story in my email.
No, I didn't.
Part of that's Psalm 22, right, Elliot?
That is correct. That is correct.
You guys know I sent Cecil a script, and he actually really liked it.
Yeah.
Cecil needs help too.
Ethan is mind-boggled that I knew that.
I'm very impressed with you for knowing that. I'm very impressed. Not a lot of people know the Psalms.
Well, Psalm 22 is directly related to that's the quote Christ says while he's on the cross. Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. That's my God, why have thou forsaken me?
Very impressive, Mike.
Elliot knew.
Is Elliot like
Antonio probably knew too.
They don't know this.
I'm a heathen.
Elliot knew, right? Elliot, you knew that.
I knew some of that, yeah. I knew some of that.
Yeah.
But not as well as Ethan said it. That was powerful.
I think I read it really well.
You did. I'm impressed with that.
You did, Ethan. It made me hot.
It was not quite as good as the Johnny Cash version, but
Johnny Cash did a version of that?
Dude, I have the whole New Testament by Johnny Cash.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so he would do just the part from the New Testament, not the whole.
What is this? Ethan believes women can't and shouldn't write comic books because of a Lego study. Hold on. This has got to be Renfamous. God's sake. Why is everyone...
Drujo says, OMG, Mike, are you evangelic? I'm a born-again Christian. I don't like labels, but I believe in the Bible. I believe in Christ as my Lord and my Savior.
That's pretty
These guys
sweet,
talk about me nonstop, Mike.
I know, they're obsessed. I'm just
have no life.
she doesn't talk about me. I'm surprised she talked about me tonight. And she's just mad because I posted up some of those screen caps of her face. That's all I did. I did mention that she had dead eyes, like a doll's eyes.
Like the Meg.
Meg.
Like the Meg's eyes. Having a normal one over there. I don't even know what that means. Having a normal one. I'm having a pretty normal one.
Mike, you are having a normal one. Don't let anyone tell you differently.
I don't even know what that means.
Look at NASA Rabati's Stardust, the second print cover. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks so good, dude.
It does. It does.
Thanks.
You are really good, Nasser.
Thank
You
you.
know?
He
Yeah,
didn't draw it.
Oh.
Oh,
Guys, the one
that
time I
kid.
get a compliment from Ethan, you can't just let me have it.
You get nothing.
You'll get nothing.
You lose, sir. Good day, sir.
Oh, Nasser.
Oh, Nasser. What are you looking at, Ethan? You sound like you're reading something.
Yeah, I don't know. Just looking at people saying crazy things about me. Yeah, that's right. I do think that the Lego study suggests that women should not be writing comics. Well, I mean, not, some comics, but not all the comics. The key difference between girls and the lady fig and boys and the minifig, this is from the Lego study, was that many more girls projected themselves onto the lady fig. She became an avatar. Boys tend to play with minifigs in the third person. What's that mean, Mike?
The third person.
Yeah. Like, how would you play with a toy in the third person?
Well, the way you describe it, the boys transfer themselves. They want to be the character they're playing with, right? They're not interjecting their first person persona into the thing. They want the transference goes from the toy to them and not the other way around.
The girls needed a figure they could identify with that looks like them. Do you understand? Do you see where all the representation matters? Do you see where it comes from?
So they're first person.
The Lego team knew they were onto something when the girls told them, I want to shrink down there and I want to shrink down and be there. See, that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about.
That's why they have tea parties with their toys. They want to be equals among the toys. It's not an overseer watching the toys have a tea party, right? It's having a tea party with the toys, like on an equal level.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, that's just science, and these people try to hit us with their science. I'm hitting them with real science. That is the key difference between boys and girls.
Science?
Yeah.
I thought it was the penis.
What? Oh yeah. That too. I forgot about that.
You just hit him with the boom bip.
You're either a plug or an outlet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What are you drawing, Mike? Are you drawing something? I like watching you
I'm
draw.
not drawing.
Damn. I like watching you draw.
Andrew.
I'm drawing.
I'm not drawing because I got on here and I was really sad because my friend just passed away.
Oh.
So,
I was wondering about that. I saw the title and I was like, oh wow, okay. Apologies. My condolences, sir. I thought it was a joke. I actually, because I came into this thing like I had ate some ribs and I passed out and I was like, okay.
No,
Mike,
I don't know if you'd ever seen. There was a stream where he was on here. He wanted to be more involved in the whole Comicsgate thing, but he worked at a video game company, so he's like really busy. And he was actually supposed to be on my show today. We talked about it earlier this week, and after the last stream with Ethan, I went on Twitter and I saw Brett Booth had shared that he had passed away, and I'm like, oh. And he was one of the best guys I knew, man. I was just he was a colorist at Wildstorm and at CrossGen, and now he's gone.
Oh wow.
So,
I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah, definitely.
That's painful, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
For all these infamous memes.
I know. Like the Runfamous memes are cheering you up a little bit, but not very much. You know, it's hard.
Didn't my
One with her
story
head
cheer
on-
you up?
There's one with her head on a dancing chihuahua.
I need to find.
I gotta admit that's cheering me up a little bit.
I thought my story would have cheered him up.
It's got music. Okay.
Mike's actually a character in this book.
Oh, I don't just own the farmhouse. The filthy, filthy farmhouse or whatever it
Oh,
is.
just the attic's filthy.
Filthy.
Yeah, you're the main character's grandpa in it.
Well, you know, it's no vomit, but I'll be all right.
Story, Nasser.
What'd you say?
Is there vomit in this story?
No.
Hmm. I'll give you a
You
Malin.
doing the Malin?
Where is Malin? Where is he?
I know.
Is he not here?
I don't know.
He's on the DL somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Max Miller wants to know what video he was on with me previously. Oh man, I don't know. I've done like almost 500 videos. It'd be hard to find. But you know, we told some good Wildstorm stories and some. I think he told some cross-gen stories. So.
Hey guys,
And I'll just repeat it for the people who are new here. He had this fantastic idea, and that I've been bugging him about for like 20 years to do this story, just because it's a great concept. So it's called 30 Pieces of Silver, and it's about the cursed 30 pieces of silver that Judas Iscariot was paid to betray Christ. And so the story is that each piece of the silver is cursed. And so you have like 2,000 years worth of stories you could tell of people who receive or find somehow come into possession of one of these pieces of silver, and then how their story is cursed after that. And it's just this great idea for an anthology series. And I'm going to talk to his wife and see if we can do something with that as part of this community, as part of the Wildstorm community. I'm not going to steal the idea. I'm going to use it to benefit his.
Wait, what if she says no? Can we still use this idea?
Well, see, that's the thing. I have the 30 pieces of silver in brand. That's where the Judas crown is. The Judas crown is made from the 30 pieces of silver.
Yep. And Antonio came up with it first.
Yeah.
No, he came up with this like 20, 25 years ago.
I came up with mine 20 years ago, but I mean, either way, we didn't know each other. So,
yeah.
Well, guys, I gotta dip out, but
What?
good night.
All right.
Just kicked him.
I thought something was going on. I was like, something wrong with my laptop? What?
Yeah.
People are thrilled with our live stream, guys. I'm actually reading the comments on it. Some good comments on this. We did good. We actually did good.
Oh, good.
People are excited about Rainbow Brew. What?
Are you going to throw with your feet? Because I was really.
No, I'm too tired. I know. I'm sleepy. I'm going to go to bed in a little bit. This guy says, if you two ever did hook up and had a child, what a hideous abomination it would be. That's not nice. I feel like my kids are pretty. Ethan, I must confess I'm disappointed you had built this woman up as sharp and intelligent. You missed out on that one big time. She is ha 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 ha. Well.
Yeah, she did not live up to your talking her up about her intelligence.
No. Ethan, up until tonight I had mad respect for you, but you said you love Fallout Boy. That respect was lost. Oh. What's wrong with Fallout Boy? I like Fallout Boy. I guess not. I guess you're not allowed to like Fallout Boy, or else you lose respect.
You know, Ethan, I'm very good friends with a gentleman by the name of Sean Mutaki that founded Uprising Records, which was Fall Out Boy's first label. They sued him to get out of the contract. Yay!
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like him anymore. So.
They're making fun of me in Mike's chat. They're saying he went to John Legend. We know this. I did go to John Legend.
Ebola James Rochelle, once again, was a friend of mine for about the past quarter century. And he was a colorist at Wildstorm and a colorist at CrossGen. He colored the Negation book, and he's been in video games ever since. But yeah, he was a good guy.
But you've had him on the stream, like say a couple months ago. It seems like maybe I was on the stream with you and him months ago or something. I think
a 3D modeling thing.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I've met so many people through you, Mike. So I don't know.
Yeah,
you're like the hantavirus. You spread all around.
I can occasionally drag someone into our community. No, he was gonna be. I mean, he was the project on his Instagram. He's got all these pieces from a project he was developing, and he was gonna do it with us. So he was not a YouTube personality, but he was one of us.
One of us.
Jesse Miller, I'm self-taught. Yeah.
That blows my mind.
I was gonna play a song on the piano about you and your friend.
Huh.
You can play Pablo Hidalgo.
It's not about rainbows.
No.
On the other side.
And I can't sing right now at all, Mike.
Yeah, me either.
You know?
Is Nasser one of us? I don't know what Nasser is.
He is, of course he is. All right. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired. But Mike, I send my condolences. I'm sorry. It's hard to lose a friend.
Yeah. Yeah, and he lived 20, 25 minutes away, and you just always think your friends are always going to be around. So, go grab dinner with somebody you haven't seen in a while. It's like he owed me a beer from the freaking election, and we just never got around to just getting together because everybody's life gets so busy. But take the time.
That's the truth.
You never know.
I just looked him up on Instagram. I've seen him. That's why I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sniffling too? Oh, man.
I wish all of you good health. Good night, everyone. I'll see you.
You too, boss.
Good night, Ethan.
Good night, man.
All right. That's my dude.
I should have kicked him. So, how are you fellas doing?
We're going to win this race.
Well,
Just working.
This race. Did you just do the Elvis, we're going to win this race?
Yeah.
Lemonade. That cool, refreshing
drink. I'm surprised they've never came after Eddie Murphy and tried to make him apologize for all the things he said.
Well, I'm sure if he came out as a conservative, they would.
Ah, yes, that's the key.
Kevin Hart's not conservative.
No, but
No.
yeah.
You're ruining my whole concept here.
Thanks a lot, Huerta.
Oh, jeez.
Thanks a lot.
There is no tank heist if there is no John Malin. Yeah, right. All right. Elliot,
Yes,
let
sir.
us explain tank heist.
Okay.
Without Malin screwing up the story.
So the only solid tank heist story I have in my head is the one we started with. So I'm going to go with that one first.
All right,
Right.
and then we'll correct you.
Good. Kevin Hart and The Rock go down to Mexico because The Rock's having trouble with his wife, and he thinks she's going to leave him. And so Kevin Hart's trying to trying to get him to loosen up, and they go to Mexico to, I don't know, what did we say it was going? I said El Segundo,
TJ.
whatever.
No, TJ.
Where?
Man, TJ.
Yeah, Tijuana, right. For some variety of reasons. And then the wife is the girl from the comedian from the high school movie with Kevin Hart, Night School. So she ends up finding out what. Yeah.
She's
So
in everything now. That's annoying.
I don't care. I think she's beautiful, and I want her in the movie.
Yeah, she's got that horrible
He cast the
mole.
wife? Have you been thinking about this off stream?
No, I said this the last time. I even said, you guys laughed at me. Like, yeah, that's good. So this, you guys doing the Doug to me. Wait, no, that's bad. Anyway, so they go down there, and Kevin Hart, I guess, whatever. They end up getting into a conversation with Salma Hayek, who happens to be the wife of a drug lord down in Tijuana or whatever.
Okay,
Who happens to be Antonio Banderas.
No. Our version. She's the wife of Jack Black.
Oh, what? Okay, so Jack Black was at some point was supposed to be a son or a brother, younger brother of the drug lord.
He's the brother.
So what happens though is that towards the beginning of the movie, in the intro, there was some sort of situation where there was a deal went wrong, and this guy that was working for the cartel.
Let's go with the cryptocurrency one. It makes the most sense.
Huh?
Let's go with the Bitcoin one. It makes the most sense.
I love the Bitcoin idea. It's very current, and it's also weird. So he hides the quote unquote gold in a tank, which is in an armory in somewhere in a National Guard unit. So now because of what's happening here with Jack Black's wife, they make them go. They kidnap this guy's wife, because she comes down to Mexico to find them, and they kidnap her, Haddock. And they said, if you don't get this, you're going to go on a mission for us back up to San Diego and get this gold where our guy stashed it. So now The Rock and Kevin Hart have to go back up to San Diego, find this tank, and get it out. But somehow mayhem ensues, and they end up stuck in the tank somehow. We haven't solidified that, and they have to ride the tank back to Tijuana with Gary Busey somehow. Somehow we got to put Gary Busey in there. So now they're on
the tank. Remember?
Now they're on the run from the police, the National Guard, the Army, the Air Force. Everyone's coming down after these guys, and they have to cross the border. And they end up getting back to, but they get stopped. Finally, they get stopped by the opposing or the rival cartel, which is I thought was led by Cheech Marin, and he's over there going like, "Hey, what do you do? What do you mean?" However he talks, and then because I haven't been a while since I've done his impression of him.
All right, Holmes.
Hey, he talks like this. Hey man,
Dave's not here, man.
So they wait.
Morning, Mr. Hey.
Yeah, I remember. That.
Yeah.
He's got that gravelly voice. Anyway, so he takes him there, and they get him. They somehow load up his tank with a bunch of other stuff, with more artillery, and they have to now ride this thing back into the cartel palace to get his wife, and they end up somehow with the Bitcoins on the jump drive. By the way, they don't even know about that yet. So then of course they stop the whole thing, and they get to, and the Rock's wife keeps smacking him in the back of the head. We saved your life, didn't we? Yeah, but I almost died. And then she keeps smacking him. All right, that's it. That's the nutshell version of that. It was a lot of discussion. We've been having writer battles over this story.
Yeah, it gets confusing because Malin keeps throwing in all these really dumb ideas.
He's the Michael Bay.
He wouldn't say so, but yeah.
He wants to turn it into a Michael Bay like action adventure movie, and it's like this needs to be a comedy adventure movie.
Right.
You know,
I'm very
more
happy
like
that Michael Bay is shooting Bad Boys 3 right now, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, there you go. So it has a little bit of that in it.
No. This has to be more Blues Boys.
Well, I mean, you can argue that that's sort of the spirit of that. But
No. What?
No, I'm just saying the buddy comedy, the buddy cops, the buddies.
Oh, Watchmen for You says no, Cecil was in it, Gary Busey. Well, that's the thing we're going to do. So we want to crowdfund the movie. And then whatever the budget is that we end up with from the crowd fund, that's how much of the budget we can make this. So if dollars, then we have to start in it ourselves and direct it ourselves. But if we make like millions of dollars, then we can get like, you know, Cheech Marin and everybody else.
And The Rock, yeah.
And a real tank.
Yeah.
And The Rock, yeah.
If it doesn't have a tank, it could be, I don't know, what else could it be if it wasn't a tank?
Well, it's got to be a tank, but if we don't have a budget for a tank, you have to use like found footage and
CG.
and
You could use toys.
Toys. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Like, yeah. We can use some of the footage from the tank that was actually running over cars in San Diego.
Yeah,
like Mr. Rogers style.
We just have to speed it up so it looks like he's going like 60 miles an hour.
And the birds just zip by super fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a fun idea. It'll make a great comic too. But it's a fun idea. But we started having creator what do you call that? Creator differences.
Conflict.
Creative differences. Conflict. Yeah.
That's Hollywood, man.
Yeah, that's what happens.
You can't have too many chefs in the kitchen. That's why I think, Elliot, I think you and I should just sit down and bang out a story.
I'm surprised Malin's in here going, no.
And he's probably passed out.
Who was the director? I think we talked about Michael Bay.
On his chest. Who was what?
I think we talked about Michael Bay as directing.
No way, man. No way.
That's what we said. Why not? He's done.
Because he would turn it into a Michael Bay movie. That guy's got no sense of humor.
Yeah, you guys said Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, we did say that.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm wrong. You were right. That's true. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun idea.
As the crazy tank driver mechanic is the best part of the movie.
It is fun.
It's funny because this whole thing started with Gary Busey and Nick Nolte as the stars.
Yeah. And it evolved after that. But
like crazy old white men. We could have just called it that.
What was that movie? Remember the old with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas? What was that movie? It was three of them. There were three of them. That sounds familiar to you guys?
What? Who was in it? Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas?
Burt Lancaster. It was much later in their lives, but it happened probably late 80s.
Tombstone?
No.
They were old gangsters.
Oh,
I'm surprised. Antonio doesn't remember.
It's called Old Gangster Movie.
Thanks, Antonio.
Anytime, brother.
You hooked it up.
Hey, Brendan Pitts says, "Dude, you can buy a Russian tank for like $50,000."
I thought I was gonna say $50.
It depends on how much the campaign costs. We may end up with like $50 for a GI Joe Nobat.
Well,
anybody know Gooch?
Dude, we should write it up. At least, and do an Indiegogo for the actual story. Instead of doing a comic, do it like a storyboard pitch book, right? And then everybody could get a copy of the storyboard pitch book, but that's what we would use. So what you do is you're doing instead of regular comic pages, what you're doing is just doing three horizontal panels on each page. Right, and then you can still fill it out like a comic book. But when you give it to a producer or something, they look at it. It reads like a storyboard pitch book, and you can really pitch it that way.
You know, like,
Malin's gonna be happy.
Who?
Malin's not gonna be happy.
I don't know who you're talking about.
What was he saying? What?
Oh, like those when you're trying to sell like those stories to the directors or whatever, like concept art, like those what do they call, like lookbooks or something?
Yeah, lookbook. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it two ways actually. You can either do like an 80 or 120 page, just like horizontal storybook, like where it's one full drawing per page, and that way you just have like key scenes and you can tell the story through that way, or doing it like I said with the comic book 3-tier format. Who did that? I think it was Mark Miller did that with one of his books because he was intending on just using it as a movie pitch book.
Any of you guys work on a movie?
In what sense?
I've done some
And
concept art.
Just on the anything, concept art, anything.
I have.
I worked on concept art for a production company for a Wesley Snipes film that never happened.
I also did storyboards for animation too.
Dude.
Huh?
So Elliot's got some experience.
A little bit, and very little, but enough to get me in trouble.
Storyboarding is just comic book work. I mean, it's a lot
we can do it.
sloppier, but as long as you can know how to tell a story. Storyboarding is an integral part of being a comic book artist.
A lot of guys have left to do storyboards.
That's because it pays more.
Mm-hmm.
Comic books, you have to be an idiot to do comics for a living.
Yeah, I was an idiot for like a while.
I've been an idiot for a quarter century.
Finally left. Shoot. Yeah.
Oh, Tough Guys, the Kirk Douglas movie. Tough Guys.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
You're wrong, Antonio.
I'm shocked.
George Peter Gatza says storyboarding is completely different from comic book.
I wouldn't say it was completely different, but
Little bit.
they're cousins. They're cousins.
No,
It's like Coke and Pepsi.
Storyboarding, the ability to tell a visual story, is a key component of drawing comic books. If you can draw comic books well, you can storyboard. It's hardly a transition at all.
It's kind of like my old art teacher. He said, if you can draw, you can color. If you can color, you can paint. And if you can paint, you can do sculpting.
That's right.
But there wasn't one mention of storyboarding. Just kidding.
That's right. That's a totally different skill set. There are great artists who cannot tell a story for crap.
That's all of Marvel's artists right now.
There are also tools in storyboarding that
they're writers.
you use to show how transitions work or how camera pans in and out or up and down with arrows and stuff like that. It's very literal, and it's also not quite as intensive as comic art tends to be. It's very loose.
Yeah.
Usually it's very loose or can be loose, but it still needs to be clear.
You need to get the idea, the story out.
Yeah.
Peter Weller should play a villain, or better yet, Ed Harris. I love Ed Harris.
He's like always a bad guy, no?
Not always.
It feels like now that he's older.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty bad in what's that one on HBO?
Westworld. I love that. Westworld's badass.
Got some women in there.
Yeah, don't spoil it. I've only seen season 1.
Oh no, I watched season 2, and although I saw some people were saying it was season 2 wasn't good. I love season 2. I thought it was dope.
I dig it. It's cool. It's not a bad show at all.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to season 3.
Haven't seen it yet. I'm a loser.
I'm a loser.
So why don't you? So what was the good? I'm trying to remember when Ed Harris was a good guy. Let's see, he was in the right stuff, right?
Yeah, Right Stuff.
That was such a great movie.
Oh, wait, that doesn't count, I guess.
Billy Wombat says Mad Max Fury Road was pitched with a storyboard instead of a script. So was The Matrix.
Oh yeah, it was Steve Scroce, Scroce, whatever.
Scratch.
Scratcher, crotch.
Scroce.
Escroce.
It's a forget about it.
Escroce.
It's a forget about it. Oh, that sounded dangerous.
I don't know what happened. Nasser is in the chat of Masterpiece Theater saying, "Did you guys really not like tonight's story?" Teardrop.
Now he can't sleep.
Yeah.
He's gonna have nightmares.
Just staring at the ceiling.
That's fine.
It It was okay. I just if you're gonna build it up that much, it either has to be really funny, or it has to be even scarier than your build up.
You need music or something.
Maybe. And I felt like it was kind of like, oh, it's a comic, I guess. And it's also super niche. I mean, most people don't even know what a comic book is, much less the ads in the back. So I don't know.
Was he trying to go for scary?
I think he was going for
build up.
Yeah,
Suspense.
like some suspense, maybe even in the family of
M. Night.
Well, or Twilight Zone.
Antonio, you want to see the page I finished?
Yes, I do.
Okay, don't give me crap because I drew Ben Shapiro on it. But this is page 20.
Oh.
Page 20.
How many pages is this going to be?
48.
Hey, that really looks like Ben Shapiro. All righty then, buddy.
So I am now officially as far along as I was when I started the first Lone Star Indiegogo. I had 20 pages done when I started the first Lone Star Indiegogo. Wasn't that nice? You could hear the motorcycle in the background when I showed the motorcycle.
Yeah, that was perfect.
And is that the page you're going to mail to me, Mike?
That's not going to happen, brother.
You have not mailed me a piece of
Friday night auctions and bid to your heart's pleasure.
I don't want to. I'm supposed to get the friend price. What
Oh,
are
look,
you talking about?
there's nobody. Remember I said I put nobody in background scenes and stuff? The little guy with the black hair and the sunglasses?
Is that me?
It's nobody.
Hmm.
His name's literally nobody.
It's nobody.
It's
Multiple wounds.
He's actually a character in Imaginaries. Hold on, let me grab him.
So Antonio, I've been populating my store on Teespring.
Sweet.
And I went with what I had so far. I thought I really want to use this to promote my show, my channel. Oh, go ahead, Mike. You're back. That's nobody.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to share it in a second. I'm share with
This
you
is
guys.
This is a issue. Well, issue 1. So issue 5 from the whole series, Imaginaries.
I used to love that series when I was younger.
Mike, I don't have a piece of your original art hanging on my wall, man. This is not going to stand with me, brother. What is that?
I said you can come to Friday night auctions.
You really trying to?
This is a Frankenstein refrigerator. My son came up with him.
That's great.
It's all me. Nasty bears, dressed like Nazis. It's the ice cream. Nico, Battery Man. And then this was actually illustrated by Nikos Koutsis. You guys know him? He's a colorist for Eric Larson now. But I want to get him to redraw the first 4 books of the series and then like reboot this whole series because his art's so much better than the guy I got to do the first books. Like, look at this.
I can see Elliot drawing that.
I can see me drawing it.
Which one? The Imaginaries?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that book. I remember when I was younger too. Well, not so much younger. We were all younger when you did it.
I was like,
guy's talking like he's in his 20s and stuff. Like, Jesus, man. Everybody here is pushing 50. I'm like, come on, man.
Not me.
Yeah. So, anyways, found a pile of these. So, all right, go back to your story after I read the super chat. Raz Doctor $5. The stream with James is called First Look at Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. Oh, thank you. Aloha from September 22nd. Thank you. Thank you.
So I've been I took Antonio's advice and started a Teespring store to see if I can start this. I like the garments they're using too. They're using some pretty decent garments, but I don't know. I'm curious about their printing. However, so I have something called the Red King, which is based on some artwork I did of Hellboy. We'll see. It's pretty cool, but they don't have. I have to figure out how to like group everything because this looks like a big mess of stuff to
Wait,
click on.
how are they going to let you do that?
Well, that's funny you say that because another image I put up was a design I did for a pseudo poster for Monster Squad. Monster Squad got rejected because of copyright issues, and Hellboy did not. So I was like, I'm just testing this out to see how it works because this is still, I haven't done T-shirt stuff in a while. So, but the other things I have going on though are I have the Jerkmonger Show logo, which I'm excited about having that as a T-shirt.
Oh, there you go.
I want to rock that at the cons. Shaka Khan, rock the con.
And let me rock you, Shaka Khan.
I'm also
that's all I want to do.
Gonna do when I do my solo streams, when I'm doing it off of OBS, I want to do this, which is taking a while now. I don't know why it's taking forever.
While you're looking for that, Spike and Madness asks, does Ben know about his cameo royalties? Yeah, I asked him beforehand if there was any problem with me doing it, and he said no. And then I showed it to him, and he said, awesome.
Just like I asked Edwin Boyette if he would if he would be thrilled to be in brand. And I am very, very happy with the colors that I got back on Edwin. So they look very sweet. I know.
So when I'm doing my own personal stream, I'm just by myself, I'm going to do what's called the art grind. It's going to label the show the art grind. And this is like a meat grinder full of like bits and potatoes, like Doritos, energy drinks, headphones for streaming.
That doesn't look appealing.
I know. It's
that's
grind.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that one doesn't do it for me.
Wait, well, what is it again?
It says grind. You have to tilt your head to the left.
Yeah, that's because I can't.
Graffiti heads would like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for.
Streets are tough. Call me up whenever you want grind.
Like, I get a lot of graffiti people with my art, so it's cool.
Yeah. It's part of who I am, y'all. It's part of who I am. But anyway, it's just kind of fun stuff there. So we'll see. Start off with that. Yay! But I'm really excited about the Jerkmonger Show one. This is cool.
Yeah. Met a little girl named Nikki, and I guess she was a 16. Yeah.
The hotel lobby to a
magazine.
Mike, you can't sing that song like Paul Simon. You have to get some more. I met a girl named Nikki, I guess you can say. You have to be like, I met a girl named Nikki, I guess you can say she was AFAR. You can't even like enunciate the word properly. You have to go blah, blah, blah.
To a magazine. Just said, how'd you like to spend some time? And I could not resist.
When I saw little Nicky.
Yeah.
Come back, Nicky. Come back. Yay.
Nicky.
So as we approach the Super Bowl, speaking of Prince, as we approach the Super Bowl, that is probably, in my opinion, I gotta say it's my favorite, and I think it's the greatest halftime show ever. Was the Prince halftime show at the Super Bowl?
That was a good performance.
That was amazing. It rained while he was playing Purple Rain. No,
I remember that.
You don't remember that?
I do remember. I said, "Oh, I remember that."
Oh yeah. It was a great.
I never watched the Super Bowl, but I saw that after the fact.
It's on YouTube. You can look it up. It's sick.
Purple rain, purple rain. Prince was great. I was sad when he passed away.
Ooh, man, when
he was assassinated.
What?
Is that what happened?
That was. There's a bunch of YouTube conspiracy videos saying that that they bumped it off so they could have his catalog, and then you see the stories of what like tracks from his home are missing and stuff like that. I was like,
oh really?
Yeah, that stuff's in the news.
He has like 20 years worth of stuff he could
and
dump in the vault,
and he didn't, and all of a sudden he mysteriously didn't have a will, and then there's some stuff. Something is up with the Prince estate because he had like 6-7 brothers and sisters all claiming that and then someone removed some of the masters from his home, and
hold on, I got an important update. Optimus Deadpool says, letting you know my mom's surgery went well and she's recovering nicely. Awesome. That's good news. Thank you, Optimus Deadpool. Could use some good news today.
Awesome, man.
Prince's death was quite odd. Well, Prince was quite odd.
Well, I mean, no, just like today or so, they were like, oh, he's sick. And everybody's like, oh, well, he was spotted in the park riding a bicycle just like the day we were before he all of a sudden just died. It was, there's some videos and stuff that are, you got to stay off YouTube because you'll fall down that conspiracy theory rabbit hole.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Maybe we'll cover that on a future episode of Tinfoil Hat Theories.
Ooh. If you do that, let me know. I'd love to sit in on that one.
Let's start.
I call Antonio the look at that. That's awesome.
Let's get this episode of Tinfoil Hat Theories rolling.
Antonio's the historian of the group.
Ooh, I love that. That's sexy.
I need to fix it. As I was short on tinfoil when I did this.
I just really enjoyed that.
I don't know if you can see. It's got actually has a band.
That's amazing.
So Paul McCartney, the real Paul McCartney, passed away.
The clone. Yeah, the clone. Yeah.
That's legit. Man. That is legit.
No, but that's stuff. That's stuff that I'm going to be playing with in brand. Like, perhaps if the Covenant doesn't want certain people, or that certain people won't be swayed, they get replaced. And
I like that. I like
clone. That's what I was saying. It's like the character that Edward is playing, Edward Lind. Edwin is playing Edward Lind, and he's going to be fun when we bring him back. So
now, what have you done with Kanan? Because he has been oddly missing from Drawn and Quartered for well over a month now.
Replaced him,
and he is. I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but we have a book to put out that
as do we all.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I can't speak for it's. I can't speak for yourself, and I thought yours was done, and I thought I don't know.
Oh yeah, mine's done, but I'm working on the next one. You think I got time to just fart around? Man,
well, I'm writing script 2. Actually, yeah, and that's me and Kanan talked about script 2 a couple nights ago. Actually, some of the because based on where I left the book off and where I want to,
Here's page 19 if you want to see
it. Mike, you got to stop showing art if you're not going to send me a one of the pages, dude. It's not right, man.
So pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's for you, sorry.
Oh yeah. I want someone to draw me and Riffimus together holding hands. That would be nice.
Hey, I don't know if she's trolling, but apparently she's going to do another stream tomorrow.
Oh, really?
They have to react to the Ethan stream. See,
I don't know if it's on the same channel or someone else's. Or new one, I mean.
She's probably going to try to do it on her own channel. Does she have? She has a channel, right? No.
No.
I thought she did. I thought because that's where she posted something about what Ben and Ben like had the videos flagged or something. I thought
If she was smart, she would start her own channel because she would make some money.
Yeah. So I think it would be wise to ignore tomorrow night's, because tonight's was just evidence that she's a freaking dimwit. Unless she's like writing and rewriting her tweets 20 times until they make sense. Because I don't know, she seemed like she was dumbing a bag of hammers on that stream.
She works. Yeah, she definitely works better on Twitter.
Yeah. So I think it would be better, because she's probably like, hey, you made like $100 in super chats. Maybe we should do that tomorrow night and we can split it. So she's probably trying to make some money so she can buy a better TV.
oh wow, yeah, I saw Soylo, a Soy Wars sword.
Yeah, she's playing it on that Sony Trinitron from 1989.
Antonio about to give her all the super chats.
Hey, I give you all my love, baby. I get that Barry White voice on you.
Mhm.
How you
Yeah.
How you
Give it
doing,
up.
baby?
Ain't no use. I can't help myself if I wanted to.
So tell us about the Monster Squad.
No, this is just the art that I had done, that I posted. I'm just surprised because this is an obscure. It's hardly a cult classic, I would imagine.
Is that the Lost Boys?
It's a cult classic.
You remember that?
Yeah. Thou shalt not kill.
Hey, have you guys seen that movie recently?
Lost Boys?
No, Monster Squad.
Oh,
It doesn't
no.
hold up as well to me. What do you think?
No, I mean I can't even show it to my son.
I know it's hardcore, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like we watch like all this cussing. They say the
Yeah.
F word.
Yeah, and Goonies.
The other
It's
F word.
hardcore. Kids back then were hardcore.
And it was PG.
Yeah, PG was, yeah. Oh, Jesse Miller wants Antonia to ask Ren if she likes hot chocolate.
I'm sure she does.
Look, if it wasn't for all the crazy, I'm sure she's a very nice lady. But
I think me and Ren will be
she's
friends.
crazy.
Like,
No, she's a horrible woman. She's a horrible person. She was a horrible person when she pretended to be a conservative, and now she's a horrible person that she's a liberal or a leftist or whatever the hell she is now. I mean, the stuff she's written all her life that we found on Twitter is just, she's just a terrible, terrible human being, no matter what side of the aisle she's on.
I mean, she has a history. This isn't like a good new thing, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know that much about all
I
that,
think
but
she loves me. That's
well, I think she loves Ethan. That's what I think. She definitely has a thing. She's obsessed with him.
yes. That's the dilemma, and I'll probably have to write her into Brand in some form or fashion where I'll have to, because David, the character of David Craven is very. He does not have the luck with the women, and so I'll say that he worships her from afar, and she worships a guy with toe thumbs that likes pies. And Ethan's going to be in Brand once we get to Vegas. It's like Ethan's going to be in Brand, but we're not at Vegas yet. So,
Well,
hey guys, this was fun. This has been 2 hours. I need to spend some time with my wife, so I am gonna. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
you don't have to go home, but you can't stay. Closing time.
Does everyone want to shout out their info? Huerta, you want to start?
I'm on Twitter at Andrew Huerta 93 and on Instagram at the Huerta. That's it.
Antoine?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you do stop by, please go to my Teespring and pick up that fancy Ethan Van Cyber Frog brand crossover thing that I got that everybody's been buying. Thank you so much.
Hey, did you guys notice that without Ethan, there's no white people here?
Wait a second.
He keeps his races.
Okay. That's funny.
No white people. Right, Elliot.
You can find me on the Twitters at Jerkmonger, and also I just updated my YouTube channel, so you can also find me here on YouTube at Jerkmonger, and Elliot Fernandez _art on Instagram. And don't forget, coming up very soon in the next week, a couple weeks, we're going to be debuting my new project with Doug TeNapel that I still can't name, but I can't wait. It's gonna be exciting. So
it's called Filthy Fingers.
That's right. Keep your eyes peeled, ears open, and gloved hands. Go.
That's the enemy, the bad guys. All right, and I am Mike S. Miller. You are on Blacklist Universe. Please do like and subscribe if you have not. We do fun streams. This was a fun stream, even though it started off as a very sad stream. But I appreciate everybody being here. My books are en route. If you want to check that out, if you have not already, I'm going to close it up. Books should have been here yesterday. Don't know what's going on. Can't seem to get a hold of anybody, but I'm sure they'll be here safe and sound sometime in the next few days. Why does nothing go perfectly for me? It's everything. But anyways, LoneStarComic.com for that. And Abacus Mike. Abacus. I never mentioned my Twitter handle. Abacus Mike on Twitter. If you have not been there, then please do. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Ethan, wherever you are. Nasser kicked you. And say aloha, everybody.
Aloha.
Aloha.